The green-eyed monster of jealousy began to rear its ugly head with a vengeance. Zoe's envy oozes like an infected wound, growing more poisonous with each passing day. She couldn't bear to see her best friend Adana enjoying her newfound love and happiness. Zoe's resentment grew. Driven by envy and rage, Zoe committed an unforgivable act against Adana's beautiful face. Adana's screams of pain and disbelief pierced the air. In that horrifying moment, the bonds of their friendship shattered like fragile glass, replaced by a betrayal so profound it inflicted a deeper wound than any physical injury. Once upon a sunny day in the busy city, there lived two best friends, Adana and Zoe. These two were inseparable, like salt and pepper or bread and butter. They met back in secondary school, where their friendship blossomed faster than a field of wildflowers in spring. Adana was a vibrant young woman with eyes that sparkled like stars in the night sky. Her curly hair danced around her face, and her laughter could light up even the gloomiest of days. She had a heart of gold, always ready to lend a helping hand or a listening ear. Zoe and Adana were like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. With her calm demeanor and gentle smile, she was the rock that grounded Adana through life's storms. Her long braids swayed with each step she took, and her wise words were like pearls of wisdom, cherished by all who knew her. From the moment they met, Adana and Zoe clicked like puzzle pieces fitting perfectly together. They shared everything, from their deepest secrets to their wildest dreams. Whether it was studying for exams or navigating the ups and downs of teenage drama, they stood by each other's side through thick and thin. Their friendship was a treasure chest filled with priceless memories. They spent countless afternoons gossiping under the shade of the mango tree in Adana's backyard, their laughter echoing through the neighborhood like a joyful melody. They shared ice cream cones on hot summer days and huddled together for warmth during rainy nights. But their bond went beyond mere companionship. It was a bond built in the fires of adversity. When Adana's family faced financial struggles, Zoe was there with a comforting embrace and a plan to help. And when Zoe lost her beloved grandmother, Adana held her hand through the tears, a silent pillar of strength. Together, they were unstoppable. Their friendship was a beacon of light in a world often covered in darkness. And as they stood on the threshold of adulthood, facing the uncertainties that lay ahead, one thing remained certain: Adana and Zoe's bond was unbreakable, a timeless testament to the power of true friendship. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, something malicious began to brew beneath the surface of Adana and Zoe's friendship. It started innocently enough, a fleeting glance or a whispered word of jealousy over the most eligible bachelor in the village, who had recently become engaged to Adana's beautiful friend. At first, Adana brushed off Zoe's envy with a gentle laugh, believing it to be nothing more than a passing fancy. After all, their bond had weathered many storms before, and she trusted that nothing could ever come between them. But as time went on, the green-eyed monster of jealousy began to rear its ugly head with a vengeance. Zoe's envy grew like an untreated wound, growing more toxic with each passing day. Unable to bear seeing Adana celebrate her newfound love and happiness while she felt overlooked and alone, Zoe's heart twisted with bitterness and resentment instead of rejoicing in her friend's joy. Then, on a fateful night, as the village danced under the starlit sky in celebration of Adana's engagement, tragedy struck. Driven by envy and rage, Zoe lashed out with a vial of toxic liquid, targeting the radiant smile that once brought light to her darkest days. The searing pain was unbearable as the liquid seeped into Adana's skin, leaving behind a trail of destruction on her once flawless face. In that horrifying moment, the bonds of friendship shattered like fragile glass, replaced by a betrayal so profound it cut deeper than any physical wound. Adana's world crumbled around her as she struggled to come to terms with the harrowing betrayal of someone she had trusted with her very life. The physical scars that marred her once beautiful face were nothing compared to the deep emotional wounds that festered within her soul. Every glance in the mirror was a painful reminder of the innocence lost and the trust broken. Every whispered word was like a dagger to her heart, echoing the cruel betrayal of her once beloved friend. And as she navigated the long and arduous road to recovery, Adana found herself grappling with a pain that transcended mere physicality. If you enjoy my stories, please consider subscribing, and also turning on the post notification bell to be notified whenever I post a new story. As Adana embarked on her journey of recovery, she faced another challenge: seeking justice. She felt frustrated with the leniency of the justice system towards attackers like Zoe. In a society where perpetrators of such crimes often faced minimal consequences, Adana was determined to fight for harsher punishment. Her desire to see Zoe held accountable burned brightly within her. She refused to let her former friend's betrayal go unpunished, knowing it could encourage others to commit similar acts. With courage and conviction, Adana entered the courtroom, ready to confront her past. As she stood in the witness stand, Adana recounted the events of that dreadful night with unwavering honesty. Her words painted a vivid picture of Zoe's betrayal, and despite the tears that welled in her eyes, she remained determined in her quest for justice. Her testimony resonated with those present, highlighting the stark contrast between the innocence of the victim and the cruelty of the perpetrator. When the judge delivered the verdict, declaring Zoe guilty, a sense of relief swept through the room. But Adana knew her fight was far from over. As she left the courtroom, she carried with her a sense of both sorrow and triumph. She had become a voice for the voiceless, a beacon of hope in the fight against injustice. And though the road ahead would be challenging, Adana walked it with her head held high, determined to shine a light in the darkest corners of society. In the aftermath of the trial, Adana's life took an unexpected turn as she discovered supernatural abilities coursing through her veins like molten fire. It began with a flicker of flame dancing at her fingertips, a spark that ignited within her soul and set her on a path she never could have imagined. At first, Adana was terrified by the raw power that surged through her, unsure of what it meant or how to control it. But as she delved deeper into her newfound abilities, she realized that they were linked to her desire for vengeance, a burning need to make those who had wronged her pay for their sins. Yet, alongside the flames of her fury, a whisper of doubt crept into Adana's heart, a nagging voice that reminded her of the moral compass that had guided her thus far. She fought with the conflict between her thirst for revenge and her innate sense of right and wrong, torn between the darkness that beckoned and the light that still flickered within her. Determined to understand and control her powers, Adana embarked on a journey of self-discovery, seeking guidance from those who had walked similar paths before her. She trained tirelessly, honing her abilities and learning to wield the flames with precision and grace. But with each step forward, Adana found herself drawn deeper into the dark hole of her own desires, the line between justice and vengeance blurring until it became little more than a smoldering haze. And as she stood on the precipice of darkness, She knew that the choices she made would shape not only her own destiny but the fate of all who crossed her path. In the crucible of her awakening, Adana faced her greatest challenge yet, a battle not against external force, but against the darkness that lurked within her own heart. And as she stood amidst the flames of her own creation, she knew that the true test of her strength lay not in the power that she possesses, but in the choices she makes. As Adana learned of her newfound powers and the moral dilemma they presented, Zoe found herself consumed by fear and guilt. The weight of her betrayal hung heavy on her shoulders, a burden too heavy to bear alone. Desperate to undo the damage she had caused, Zoe turned to a sorcerer rumored to possess the power to right the wrongs of the past. But as she delved deeper into the world of magic and mysticism, Zoe soon discovered that the path to redemption was fraught with danger and unintended consequences. The sorcerer's spells spiraled out of control, unleashing chaos upon the world around them. Terrified and helpless, Zoe watched as her attempts to undo her actions only made matters worse, plunging her deeper into the abyss of her own making. And as the consequences of her betrayal came crashing down around her, she realized with a sinking heart that there was no escaping the price of her sins. In the darkness of her despair, Zoe came face to face with the harsh reality of her actions, a reality that left her shattered and broken, with nowhere left to turn. And as she stood on the brink of oblivion, she knew that redemption was not a gift to be bestowed upon her, but a journey she must undertake with every step weighed down by the heavy chains of her past. Amidst the chaos unleashed by Zoe's desperate attempts to undo her actions, Adana found herself drawn deeper into the mysteries of her own existence. In the heart of the forest, where the trees whispered secrets older than time itself, she discovered a connection to the spirits that dwelled within its ancient embrace. Through whispered murmurs and gentle caresses of the wind, Adana began to learn the true nature of her powers, a gift bestowed upon her by the spirits themselves, a tool not of destruction but of healing. And as she embraced her destiny, she realized that forgiveness and redemption were not distant dreams but tangible truths within her grasp. With newfound clarity, Adana embarked on a journey of self-discovery, guided by the wisdom of the forest and the voices of the spirits that whispered in her ear. She learned to wield her powers not as a weapon of vengeance, but as a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. And so, when the time came for her final confrontation with Zoe, Adana faced her former friend not with anger or hatred, but with compassion and understanding. She saw beyond the veil of betrayal to the broken soul that lay beneath, and in that moment of clarity, she found the strength to offer forgiveness. As the flames of her fury flickered and died, replaced by the gentle warmth of compassion, Adana reached out to Zoe with an outstretched hand. And in that simple gesture of kindness, she created a bond stronger than any hatred, a bond born of forgiveness and redemption, a testament to the power of love to conquer even the darkest of shadows. And as they stood beneath the canopy of stars, their hearts intertwined in a dance of healing and renewal, Adana knew that she had embraced her destiny, not as a warrior of vengeance, but as a guardian of the light, a beacon of hope in a world that sorely needed it. Our wonderful people, spread the word by sharing this video with friends and family. Help us to grow our channel. Following their final confrontation, Adana and Zoe embarked on a journey of redemption, navigating challenges illuminated by forgiveness and understanding. With each step they took together, they found solace in their shared understanding of past mistakes and their determination to forge a brighter future. Through tears and laughter, they navigated twists and turns, their bond growing stronger. Their story emphasized the importance of empathy and second chances, even amidst betrayal and tragedy. It highlighted the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love to heal deep wounds. Adana's journey, particularly, became a symbol of hope for those facing adversity. Her strength lay not in flames at her fingertips, but in unwavering compassion. She showed true strength came from overcoming adversity with love. In the end, Adana and Zri emerged from shadows of the past, hearts lighter and spirits renewed. With forgiveness as their compass and understanding as their guide, they faced the future with courage and hope.